right out of the gate, he's looking to deliver on some of the red meat that he promised his voters on the campaign trail. We all know that the tax bill is going to take a full year to complete. So some of the other things on immigration, deportation, freeing some January 6ers, things along those lines are what I would expect in the first 100 days of the next administration.
This was a wide-ranging interview that Kristen Welker conducted, and something she did ask about is what plans he has, if any, for Fed Chair Jerome Powell. What did you hear in that answer, and how much do you think that was something that was of concern to investors, to markets broadly, just this uncertainty about whether or not the president-elect had plans to remove or ask for the removal of Fed Chair Jay Powell?
Yeah, for the street, this was really a huge issue maybe 6 months ago. There was a lot of questions that I would always get, is Jay Powell safe? His term runs until 2026. I think that what President-elect Trump has correctly assessed is that it's not worth the political capital to go after Jay Powell, create an undue disruption from somebody who's otherwise very aggressively soothed markets and is speaking as something of a calming force. I think that investors like the separation that they're seeing more than anything else. And I think that Jay Powell has gone a long way towards saying, I will not be leaving. And President-elect Trump has to adapt to that. So the markets and sort of keeping markets calm requires that Jay Powell not be confronted in any kind of way. And President-elect Trump acknowledged that reality.
What do you believe is the to-do list on day one of the Trump administration? How do you think they're going to proceed really over that first 100 days or whatever the relevant time period is?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there are, again, some sort of red meat hanging things like pardoning some of the January 6th insurrectionists makes a lot of sense. The Senate Republican Conference is making it clear that the tax bill is going to take all year. So they're diverting to three other issues: military preparedness, energy, and immigration. So I'm expecting a crackdown on immigration and deportations. Folks with temporary protected status, I think, should be on pretty high alert as we try to identify who can be identified as a immigrant that maybe should not be here permanently, and going after folks that we can at least find. So I think that that is where a lot of the focus is going to be. Should we see any action on tariffs, I'm concerned that it's going to be via the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, IEPA, which is something that the president can do with an executive order at the stroke of a pen. It does not involve something as advanced as withdrawing from the phase one agreement with China, though that is also something that they could telegraph on day one. But under IEPA, you get a focus on immigration with Canada and Mexico, and then fentanyl with those countries as well as China. And so there you could see some movement on tariffs immediately. As you know, the Customs and Border Patrol guys can change tariff rates within 12 hours. So that could really be an immediately effective development.